Good evening. Today we're going to speak about a very interesting topic, and today's our topic is problem case in problem-based learning. What is problem case? Problem case is a short story that codes particular problem and particular learning objects for the students. So before problem-based learning starts, facilitator is providing group of students with particular problem cases. For each of the group, usually they provide a little bit different problem case, and each of the group must analyze a problem, they must research particular problem, they must give certain strategical insights on solving a problem, and they must reflect problem solving process and educational process itself. So as you see, the problem case is something as a short problematic story that covers and codes particular problem that must be uncovered in the educational process. In the learning process, they get a lot of knowledge and skills on particular subjects, educational subjects. That's why before creating problem cases, a lot of things should be taken into account. For instance, when you are going to create problem cases, you must predestine how many educational objects it should be coded within. Maybe some situation needs the human relationships educational objects. Some situation needs mechanical situation or related objects, or physical or chemical, natural factors encoded in the educational objects. So different educational objects and maintains different factors that are influencing the problem itself. So in the any problem cases, students always analyze two kinds of the components, and they are structural components and situational components. Structural components are major factors that are influencing on appearance of the problem. For instance, it could be social, psychological, biological, chemical, physical, mechanical. And those factors could appear in the very different variation and situation. And situational components of the problems appears in the specific environments where those factors appears. For instance, in human relationships, in the environment, natural or artificial environments, in buildings, machines, computers, work environments, and so on. So as you see, structurally, we are trying to define structural components and situational components, and trying to compose the suitable design of the problem case. When we're writing the text of the problem cases, of course, we must decide how many participants should be mentioned and involved in the problem case. So how many and what kind of participants are you going to involve in the problem case? Because this matters. Also, in the problem case, you are trying to define certain and to describe certain relationships between participants of the situation. Trying to code particular human factors in the situation or in the problem. Also, you are trying to describe particular sequence of events that causing the particular problem or coding particular problem. Also, you are defining certain circumstances and conditions in the situation where all participants are involved within. Also, when you are writing the problem case in advance, you should mind that what kind of problem this is. What kind of problem are going to be solved by students? Is this deviance from the standard problem? Is this looking for better solutions problems? Or is this problem of acting in the case of emergency? So you see that there could be very different even types of problems that students also must uncover in the process of analyzing a problem. Also, what is important in the problem cases, that situation and story itself should be quite fuzzy. It shouldn't be very easy to uncover the situation, because it is a problematic situation and it needs a lot of research in order to uncover a particular situation. So fuzzy problem case with a state unsolved situation. So this is also something important, not to give all answers in the situation, but let the students find out themselves by researching particular humans relationships and different artificial and natural environments and different factors appearance in particular environments. Also, it is recommended that all problem cases should be realistic and open-ended, that students should be able to discuss more themselves and give their own personal and professional insights on problem cases. So as you see, that creating a problem case is quite creative work, and it involves a lot of things into consideration. It involves consideration about what kind of structural components to involve, what kind of situational components to consider, what kinds of participants and how many of participants or persons to involve in the problem situation, what kind of factors appears in the situation, what is the typology of the problem students are going to solve. You must be sure that a problem will be fuzzy and not easy to solve, and also it must be realistic and open-ended. So this is a very good characteristic of the real problem cases for the problem-based learning. And of course, maybe you could ask what is the size of the problem case. So to my attitude and to my experience, according to my experience, a problem case shouldn't exceed more than 1 page A4, because you should be able to fit all the problem story in 1 page. So this is very important. Or in case it's audiovisual form, it shouldn't exceed 5 minutes of the short video. Also, a problem case could be expressed even in picture, or also it could be observed in particular site. For instance, you can organize for your students excursion to the museum exhibition or some historical site to analyze one or particular learning object according to problem-based learning methodology. So as you see, problem case is really very important educational material, that very important in the problem-based learning. That's why before starting to write problem-based learning problem cases, you should take all those things into considerations.